ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that a simple action, something as easy as watching a few minutes of something every single day, could change the course of your life forever? I'm not talking about watching anything that passes your way. I'm talking about deliberately choosing to watch something that fuels your soul, ignites your passion, and drives you toward greatness. Consistency is the unsung hero of success. It's easy to look at someone who has achieved greatness and assume it happened overnight. But let me tell you something. No one becomes extraordinary through a single monumental act. Success is born out of repeated everyday actions, small steps that over time compound into something extraordinary. Think about it. The things you do consistently, whether they're good or bad, have a profound impact on your life. If you wake up every day with a mindset of possibility, if you make small improvements day after day, you're building a momentum that will eventually carry you further than you could ever imagine. It's not about one powerful leap. It's about the steady, intentional steps you take each day that lead to real transformation. When you commit to doing something every day, even when it feels like nothing is changing, you are laying the foundation for growth. The power of consistency isn't always visible in the moment, but it's building beneath the surface. It's like planting seeds in the ground. You don't see the growth immediately, but with time, effort, and nurturing, those seeds will sprout and grow into something magnificent. Consistency is the water that nourishes them, the sunlight that helps them rise, the daily effort that pushes you forward. When you show up for yourself day after day, no matter what, you are telling yourself that you believe in your future. You're telling yourself that you are worth the effort. Every time you repeat a positive action, you reinforce your belief in your ability to succeed. Whether it's watching something that lifts your spirit, working on your personal development, or taking a step toward your goals, each small act of consistency is a vote for the life you want to create. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results, but remember, the compound effect is real. You might not see the results after a week or even a month, but the key is to keep going. Consistency means showing up even when you don't feel like it, even when the results aren't instant, and even when the road ahead seems long. It's the persistence in the face of challenges, the determination to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps. And that is where the magic happens, because over time your consistency will turn into momentum. One day you'll look back and realize that all those small, seemingly insignificant actions led to a big transformation. It wasn't the big breakthrough moment that got you there. It was the steady, unwavering commitment to progress that made all the difference. Every single day we are bombarded with messages, ideas, and influences that shape our thoughts and actions. From the media we consume to the people we interact with, the influences around us have an undeniable impact on the way we perceive the world and ourselves. But what if we intentionally chose to expose ourselves to positive influences? What if we made the decision to surround ourselves with things that lift us up, motivate us, and encourage us to become better versions of ourselves? This is where the true power of positive influence lies. When you allow positive influences into your life, you begin to shift your mindset. You move from a state of complacency or even negativity to one where you believe in possibility, growth, and improvement. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos and challenges of life, and often we let those external pressures dictate our mood and behavior. But when you choose positive influences, whether that's watching a video that inspires you, reading a book that expands your thinking, or listening to a podcast that encourages self-improvement, you are actively reprogramming your mind. Think about the people you spend time with. Are they lifting you up or bringing you down? The energy of the people around you is incredibly contagious. If you are surrounded by negativity, by people who constantly complain or focus on what's wrong in the world, you are more likely to adopt that same mindset. But when you make the conscious decision to surround yourself with people who are optimistic, who push you to grow, and who challenge you to become the best version of yourself, you will find that your own perspective begins to shift. These individuals become a constant source of inspiration. They remind you that your dreams are possible and that setbacks are merely opportunities to learn and grow. But it's not just the people around you who influence your life. The content you consume, books, videos, social media, has a profound effect on your state of mind. You can choose to fill your mind with negativity, with fear-driven content, or you can choose to feed your mind with positive, empowering messages. Every time you watch something that encourages you to take action or reminds you of your potential, you are nurturing the seeds of possibility within yourself. You are not just passively consuming information, you are allowing that information to shape your thoughts and eventually your reality. Positive influences can also provide you with the tools you need to overcome obstacles. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to become discouraged when things don't go according to plan. But the right influence can remind you that failure is not the end, it's simply part of the journey. When you watch or listen to someone who has overcome great adversity, you begin to see that your own struggles are not insurmountable. You realize that you have the power within you to push through difficult times and come out stronger on the other side. Another crucial aspect of positive influence is its ability to help you cultivate a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed over time through effort, learning, and persistence. With the right influences, you can adopt this mindset and begin to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities for growth. You stop believing that success is reserved for a lucky few and start to understand that with hard work, dedication, and the right mindset, you too can achieve your goals. By surrounding yourself with positive influences, you are essentially setting yourself up for success. You are creating an environment, both internally and externally, that encourages growth, resilience, and possibility. It's like planting seeds in your mind that will eventually bloom into powerful beliefs and actions. The more positive influences you expose yourself to, the more you begin to believe in yourself, your potential, and your ability to create the life you desire. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of personal development. It is the ability to look inward and recognize your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors and how they impact your life. Without self-awareness, it's easy to drift through life without understanding the reasons behind your choices or the way you react to situations. It's the key that unlocks the door to growth, helping you to see not just where you are, but where you can go. When you are self-aware, you gain a deeper understanding of who you truly are, beyond the surface level of daily routines and external appearances. You begin to recognize your strengths, those qualities that set you apart, and the areas where you can improve. This insight is powerful because it provides clarity. It helps you see patterns in your behavior. And by recognizing those patterns, you can choose whether to keep them or make changes that will better align with the person you want to become. Self-awareness also allows you to understand your emotions. We often let our feelings dictate our actions, but when you develop a strong sense of self-awareness, you can begin to manage your emotions rather than be controlled by them. Instead of reacting impulsively or letting stress and frustration take over, you learn to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully. This ability to be aware of and control your emotions gives you more control over your decisions and ultimately the direction of your life. Understanding your emotions also helps you build emotional intelligence, which is a vital component of growth. Emotional intelligence allows you to navigate relationships, communicate more effectively, and empathize with others. It helps you recognize that your feelings are valid, but that you don't always have to act on them. It fosters better decision-making because you start to understand not only your reactions, but the underlying triggers that cause those emotions in the first place. Along with emotional awareness, self-awareness sheds light on your values, beliefs, and motivations. The more you reflect on your core beliefs, the more you understand what drives you. Are you motivated by the desire for financial success? Are you driven by the need to make a positive impact on the world? Understanding your why is crucial because it allows you to set goals that truly resonate with you. When you are aligned with your values, you will pursue those goals with greater passion, determination, and clarity. Growth occurs when you start to recognize the gaps between where you are and where you want to be. Self-awareness helps you identify those gaps and take intentional steps to close them. It is through this process of reflection, assessment, and adjustment that personal development occurs. You become more conscious of the habits that are serving you well and those that are holding you back. Instead of staying stuck in old patterns, self-awareness provides the foundation for change. You no longer have to live on autopilot. You can take control of your trajectory. Additionally, self-awareness creates a space for vulnerability and honesty with yourself. It's easy to ignore your flaws or deny your weaknesses, but growth only happens when you're willing to confront the areas in your life that need improvement. By being honest with yourself, you give yourself the opportunity to grow beyond limitations and break free from the things that have been holding you back. It's about embracing your imperfections, acknowledging where you can improve, and committing to making those changes one step at a time. The beauty of self-awareness is that it is not a destination but a continuous journey. As you evolve, so does your understanding of yourself. It's a lifelong process of learning, reflecting, and growing. When you make self-awareness a daily practice, you unlock the potential for constant growth. And with growth comes transformation. One thought, one choice, one action at a time. Repetition is one of the most potent tools for creating lasting change in our lives. It's easy to overlook, especially in a world that often celebrates instant results and quick fixes. But the truth is, true mastery and transformation don't come from one-time efforts. They come from doing things repeatedly, day in and day out. Whether it's forming new habits, changing your mindset, or mastering a skill, repetition is the bridge between intention and achievement. The power of repetition lies in its ability to create consistency and reinforce patterns of behavior. When you repeat something over and over again, it becomes ingrained in your mind, gradually shifting your thoughts and actions. At first, it may feel like a struggle. It might even seem tedious or ineffective. But over time, as you continue to repeat, it becomes easier, more natural, and eventually automatic. This is how habits are formed. It's not enough to do something once and expect it to stick. You have to practice, reinforce, and repeat until it becomes part of your everyday life. Think about the way you learn to walk or talk. When you were a child, every step you took was a repetition of previous steps. Every word you spoke was a repetition of sounds you had heard. It wasn't a single event that made you proficient. It was the repetition of effort over time. This is true for every skill you've learned in life. Whether it's playing an instrument, learning a new language, or even perfecting your career, it's the repetition of deliberate practice that helps you refine your abilities and move closer to mastery. In the same way, repetition can rewire your mind. If you expose yourself to positive affirmations, motivational content, or growth-oriented practices each day, you start to change the way you think and perceive the world. Your mindset begins to shift. Repetition of empowering thoughts can replace negative self-talk. Repeating positive actions strengthens your belief in your ability to succeed. In fact, the more you expose yourself to this type of repetition, the more you train your subconscious to automatically seek out opportunities, overcome challenges, and stay focused on your goals. Beyond personal development, repetition is crucial for breaking free from old habits and replacing them with new, healthier ones. Habits form over time, and they are the result of repeated actions. If you want to stop procrastinating, for example, you need to repeatedly choose to take action, even if it's uncomfortable at first. If you want to improve your health, you need to consistently repeat actions like exercising, eating well, and prioritizing rest. Over time, these actions will no longer require effort or willpower. They will become part of your identity. Repetition also builds resilience. When you face setbacks, you may feel discouraged, but the key to overcoming these moments is to persist. By repeatedly showing up, even after failure, you begin to develop a mental toughness that allows you to bounce back stronger. Repetition teaches you that failure is not the end, but a part of the process. The more you keep going, the more you develop a mindset that sees obstacles as temporary challenges rather than permanent roadblocks. Another important aspect of repetition is its role in creating momentum. The more you repeat an action, the more it becomes second nature, and with that repetition comes a natural flow. Momentum builds upon itself, making each subsequent step easier. Think about riding a bike or running a marathon. Each step forward makes the next step feel less difficult. The more you repeat something, the more ingrained it becomes, and the easier it becomes to keep moving forward. Ultimately, repetition is the key to creating change that lasts. Whether it's forming positive habits, shifting your mindset, or building resilience, repetition is the secret weapon that can propel you toward success. It might take time, but with each repetition you get closer to the person you want to become, and every small action adds up to something powerful. Limitations are something we all face in different forms. Whether they're physical, mental, or emotional, they act as invisible walls that hold us back from reaching our fullest potential. But what if those limitations aren't as fixed as we think? What if many of the barriers that seem so real are actually self-imposed? Breaking through these limitations is not just about achieving success in the external world. It's about shattering the internal beliefs that restrict us from realizing our true potential. One of the biggest limitations people face is the belief that they're not capable of achieving something beyond their current reality. It's easy to look at someone who has accomplished great things and assume that they're somehow different or lucky. But the truth is, those who succeed didn't start out with special abilities. They started with the same struggles, doubts, and limitations that everyone faces. The difference lies in their refusal to accept those limitations as final. They didn't let their circumstances define them. They pushed past them. Breaking limitations starts with recognizing that they often exist in our minds. The thoughts we believe about ourselves, whether it's that we're not good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough, are all internal constructs. These limitations are shaped by past experiences, societal conditioning, or fear of failure. The moment you recognize that these beliefs are not absolute truths, but rather limitations you've created, you take the first step toward freedom. You are not bound by the past, and you do not have to remain trapped by thoughts that limit your potential. The key to breaking limitations is changing the way we think. When you constantly tell yourself that you cannot do something, that's exactly what you will manifest. But when you start to question those beliefs, challenge those thoughts, and replace them with empowering beliefs, you open the door to new possibilities. This doesn't mean pretending that obstacles don't exist. It means acknowledging them and choosing to move forward anyway. When you believe in your ability to overcome limitations, you are more likely to find creative solutions, seek help when needed, and persevere even when the road is tough. A major limitation for many people is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not measuring up. These fears often prevent us from even trying. But fear, like other limitations, is a product of our minds. It's an emotion that arises from the uncertainty of what lies ahead, but it doesn't have to control us. In fact, the most successful individuals aren't the ones who never feel fear. They're the ones who choose to act despite their fear. They understand that growth lies on the other side of discomfort. By facing your fears head on, you break through the mental barriers that have held you back. Another limitation that many face is the feeling of being stuck in their current situation. Whether it's a job, a relationship, or a life circumstance, people often feel that change is impossible. They think this is just the way things are, and they resign themselves to a life of mediocrity. But breaking limitations means realizing that nothing is permanent. Change is the only constant in life. You always have the power to shift your trajectory, whether it's by taking a different path, seeking new opportunities, or simply shifting your mindset. It starts with a belief that change is possible and that you deserve more than what you have settled for. Breaking limitations also requires resilience and persistence. The road to overcoming self-imposed barriers is rarely easy, and there will be setbacks along the way. You might face moments of doubt, you might fail, and you might even feel defeated at times. But true growth comes from learning to keep moving forward despite these challenges. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about bouncing back stronger each time you fall. The more you persist in breaking through your limitations, the more you develop the confidence and strength to face even bigger challenges. It's also essential to surround yourself with people who believe in your potential. Negative voices, whether from others or from within, will try to reinforce your limitations. But when you surround yourself with those who encourage, challenge, and support you, you're more likely to break free from the mental barriers that have held you back. These individuals help you see possibilities you might not have considered and remind you of your worth when you doubt yourself. Finally, breaking limitations is about taking action. It's one thing to recognize your limitations and understand that they are self-imposed. It's another to take the steps necessary to move beyond them. Action is the bridge between awareness and transformation. Every step you take toward overcoming your limitations, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you envision. Action is what turns the belief that you can break through barriers into tangible results. At every moment, you have the power to shape your own destiny. Too often, people allow external circumstances, other people's opinions, or past experiences to dictate the direction of their lives. They believe that their future is out of their hands, shaped by forces beyond their control. But the truth is, you are the creator of your life. You have more control than you realize, and understanding this is the first step toward taking back your power. When you acknowledge that you control your life, you realize that the choices you make every day determine your path. Life doesn't just happen to you. You actively participate in it through your decisions. Whether it's how you respond to challenges, how you spend your time, or the goals you set for yourself, these choices directly impact the trajectory of your future. You may not be able to control every external factor, but you can always control your actions and reactions. This is where your true power lies. Taking control of your life means refusing to be a passive observer. Too many people wait for change to come from the outside, waiting for the right moment, the perfect circumstances, or someone else to make things happen for them. But waiting only leaves you stuck. Real power comes from taking action in the present. When you take responsibility for your decisions, you stop blaming external factors and start recognizing that every step you take brings you closer to the life you want. One of the most significant areas where people lose control is their mindset. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you constantly tell yourself that you can't achieve something, you won't. But if you decide to believe in your abilities, to shift your thinking toward possibility, you open the door to new opportunities. A positive, growth-oriented mindset is the key to unlocking your potential. You control the lens through which you view the world, and that lens determines how you experience life. Likewise, taking control of your life requires you to break free from limiting beliefs and habits that no longer serve you. Everyone has something holding them back, whether it's fear, doubt, or ingrained patterns of behavior. These limitations often feel like unmovable obstacles, but when you recognize that they are not permanent, you can begin to shift them by consciously choosing to replace old habits with new, empowering ones. You take control of your actions, your responses, and your outcomes. The moment you decide that you are not defined by your past, you reclaim control over your future. Another important aspect of taking control is setting clear goals and taking focused action toward them. Life can sometimes feel chaotic, and it's easy to get distracted by the noise of the world around you. But when you set clear intentions, when you define what you want and why you want it, you create a roadmap for your success. Goals give you direction. And once you have that direction, it's up to you to take the necessary steps to make them a reality. You are the one who gets to decide what your life looks like. And each decision you make either takes you closer to or further away from your goals. Personal growth is also a vital part of controlling your life. Life isn't static. It's a journey of constant evolution. The more you invest in learning, improving, and challenging yourself, the more control you gain over your life. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It's a result of intention and effort. When you commit to growing, you become a better version of yourself every day. You stop waiting for life to happen to you, and you start creating the life you want. Growth empowers you to take charge, to face challenges with resilience, and to continue moving forward no matter what obstacles arise. Taking control of your life also means understanding the importance of self-care and boundaries. It's easy to get caught up in pleasing others or trying to meet external expectations, but true control comes from knowing what you need and taking the time to honor it. This might mean setting boundaries with others, prioritizing your health, or carving out time for yourself. When you prioritize your own well-being, you put yourself in a position to be the best version of yourself, capable of making better decisions and handling challenges with grace. Most importantly, controlling your life means embracing the idea that no one else is responsible for your happiness, success, or fulfillment, except you. Your life is in your hands. You are the author of your story, and you get to decide how it unfolds. When you take full ownership of your decisions, actions, and mindset, you unlock the full potential within you to create a life that aligns with your true desires.